Alagang AMOSUP, Associated Marine Officers and Seamen's Union of the Philippines. Ang programang para sa mga Filipino seafarers at kanilang pamilya. Maghahatid ng impormasyon, magbibigay ng inspirasyon, at tatalakay sa kanilang mga sitwasyon, kalagayan at iba pang mga pangangailangan. Alagang AMOSUP. Kasama si Camille Simbulan dito sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service at Radyo Pilipinas Radyo Publiko.
Magandang araw at welcome po muli sa Alagang AMOSUP, ang serbisyo publiko sa radyong hatid ng Associated Marine Officers and Seamen's Union of the Philippines o AMOSUP at ng Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Sa programang ito ay pag-uusapan natin ang iba't ibang programs and welfare services ng AMOSUP para sa mga miyembro at dependents ng ating union, at tinatalakay din natin ang mga napapanahong issue tungkol sa mga karapatan at kapakanan ng mga magigiting nating Filipino seafarers or sea-based OFWs. Sa ngalan po ni Ms. Camille Simbulan, ako po si Lara San Juan. Ang Alagang AMOSUP ay napapakinggan din po sa mga shortwave frequencies na 9.920 MHz, 12.120 MHz, 15.190 MHz. Sumasaimpawid din po ang ating programa sa flagship station na Radyo Pilipinas Radyo Publiko 738 kHz tuwing linggo alas 7 ng gabi hanggang alas 7:30 ng gabi. Special shoutout po sa mga miyembro ng AMOSUP at sa lahat ng mga Pilipinong mandaragat sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo na nakatutok sa atin.
Alagang AMOSUP dito sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service at Radyo Pilipinas Radyo Publiko.
Today, we continue our commitment to supporting the welfare and well-being of our seafarers as we talk about an important and timely topic, Stronger at Sea, Seafarer Well-Being in Challenging Times. In today's episode, we will focus on the importance of mental health, emotional resilience, and access to support systems and organizations like the International Transport Workers Federation or ITF, which work to support, protect, and promote the well-being of seafarers around the world. And to help us better understand these important issues, we are honored to be joined by a professional expert in seafarer welfare and well-being. He is a public health expert who graduated from Dhaka Medical College, Bangladesh in 1994. He later obtained his master's degree in public health from the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, USA in 1999. He has been working as a Global Wellbeing Program Coordinator at ITF since 2006. The ITF represents approximately 19 million transport workers worldwide, including around 500,000 seafarers. In this role, he is responsible for developing policies and programs, as well as providing technical support to ITF affiliates in implementing well-being initiatives. He also collaborates with key stakeholders, including United Nations agencies, such as the International Labour Organization or ILO, World Health Organization or WHO, and the Joint United Nations Program on HIV/AIDS, as well as government agencies and employer groups to advocate policies and support the development and implementation of well-being programs. Before joining the ITF from 1996 to 2005, he worked with several international organizations including Pathfinder International, World Vision eGender Health, and Care International. During this period, he developed and implemented various reproductive health and occupational health care programs in Bangladesh and India. Wow! So, without further ado, I'm very pleased to welcome and honored to have you here, Dr. Asif Altaf. Welcome to Alagang AMOSUP, Dr. Asif. We're very, very happy to have you here with us in our radio program. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. You can greet our listeners. Okay. So now we will continue with start with our interview questions, Dr. Asif. Now please explain why mental health and emotional well-being are so important for seafarers.
Seafaring is first of all, thank you AMOSUP for inviting me in this radio interview. I work with AMOSUP for a long time. AMOSUP is a champion for promoting seafarers' rights, seafarers' well-being and welfare. And today's topic of mental health, I think, is a very timely topic and was the world we are observing. I think seafaring, as I start saying that seafaring is a tough job, is a challenging job, is a demanding job. So mental health was always an issue,
Yes.
but things are changing very constantly. But what we are seeing now in the Middle East crisis, before that we saw in the COVID, uh, things are changing very dramatically, and so the importance of mental health is much more now than before. Let me tell you one information, important data here. Now, according to the PNI Club, PNI Club is the Protection and Insurance Club, which is the global insurance provider for the shipping industry. According to their last report, the more suicide is happening on board ship than accidental death. The first time ever in the maritime history. So maritime history is for thousands of years. People all over the world exploring the world through oceans and seas. So first time ever in the maritime history, more suicide happening on board ship than accidental death. And as we know that when a seafarer die of suicide, definitely
Yes.
there's a big chance there's some mental health issues going on. So I think because the new challenges the seafarers faces, again, nowadays, if you look at the seafaring world, like 20 years back, again, AMOSUP founder, great captain Gregory Oka was a captain. His time, in fact, even after that, in the 90s, 2000s, the seafarer used to go ashore, have a shore leave, spend time when to rewind themselves, de-stress themselves. Nowadays, most places there are no shore leave. Just think
Yes.
of a Filipino seafarer. They're going to beautiful places like New York, Sydney, wherever they are. They can see the beautiful skyline, but they cannot go to shore because of the shore leave issues, the security issues. So as a whole, lives are very different than what it was before. And again, so we, ITF, AMOSUP, we acknowledge, even Marina, I must say that Marina, Maritime Philippine Maritime Authorities also acknowledge the importance of mental health. So yes, mental health is an issue now. And again, when we are talking about safety of the ship, like when we are talking safe ship, we have to understand that ship depends on the well-being of the seafarer. If a seafarer, a senior officer or any ratings, whomever we call, they know everything. But if they're struggling with the mental health issue, the safety of the ship will be compromised. So yeah, so it's very important that we talked
Yes.
about mental health, we do something about mental health. And one of the things that AMOSUP is bringing this topic today is also shows our joint commitment to support seafarers to promote their well-being and mental health.
Thank you, Dora Aksif. So, yes, you've already mentioned suicide, but what are the other common mental and emotional challenges faced the seafarers, particularly those assigned to high risk or conflict-prone areas?
First of all, we understand that mental health is a disease, and again, in our life we have stress. Everyone of our life has stress. Like
Yes.
you, Lara, as a host, as a AMOSUP communication person, we have stress, and I, as a well-being coordinator, I have stress, work-related stress, family issues. Stress is not a disease, but when stress becomes too much, it becomes a disease. And again, if you're talking about suicide, beyond suicide, the most common mental health problem is depression and anxiety disorder.
Yes.
And according to the one of the study done by Yale University, which is one of the best public health university in the world, 27% seafarer, global seafarer who have been surveyed are talked about depression and anxiety. So 1 in 4. So if there are 16 seafarer on an average on a ship, so 4 of them have mental health diseases like depression and anxiety. And again, in this crisis, what we are observing in the Middle East, and again, it's not only Middle East, is expanding everywhere. So yes, the main conflict in Middle East, but even I'm in Philippines now. I was coming here, I can see the gasoline price has doubled.
Yes.
So think of a seafarer and their family who are in Philippines now. So they are having the indirect effect of the war, and that's also stressful, because their income has not gone up, but
Yes.
their
The commodities
like
is
gas
high.
price has gone up, food price gone up. So again, we sometimes think the crisis in the Middle East, but the effects is everywhere. So again, in this demanding in this situation of crisis, again, the lots of seafarers stranded in the Hormuz Straits. Again, the whole world trading is severely affected. Again, the security concern is high. Again, we are in such a fluid. Now there's a ceasefire, but it's not permanent ceasefire. Something can come out. So think of a seafarer are sailing on a sea or a ship on his ocean, and he or she has to think of a missile coming on the ship. In addition to the thinking of the family, what about the gasoline price at home? What about the food price at home? So everything together is it's difficult for a seafarer, and difficult for when it's difficult for the family of the seafarer is directly affect the life of the seafarer who is on board ship, far away from the family. So yeah, it's a very critical time for demanding time, challenging time for all of us, especially for seafarers, because they are in the forefront. They are in the middle of this crisis. They are waiting for their goods to be delivered to another country. There is a demand. There is a time issue there. So yeah, so in this crisis moment, in this conflict time, mental health even more important for all of us. And again, we, AMOSUP, ITF, Marina, all the stakeholders, it's our responsibility to support the seafarer in this difficult and challenging time.
Thank you, Dr. Asif. So in light of this ongoing tensions in the Middle East, especially in critical shipping routes such as the Strait of Hormuz, what initiatives or support measures the ITF currently implementing to protect and support seafarers operating in these high-risk areas?
So it's a very important thing that we all know this is an active war zone, basically. This is an active war zone in the Hormuz Strait, in the whole Middle Eastern area. It's not only Hormuz Strait, like in the UAE, as far as UAE, Oman, Bahrain, in some part of Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, all parts are affected. So what we have done at the very beginning of this conflict, we in collaboration with in consultation and collaboration with the employers, mainly International Chamber of Shipping, we designated that area as a high risk area. So when the stakeholder designate an area called high risk area, then the seafarer has the right, as he has the choice to say no, I don't want to travel in that high risk area. So that's the first thing we have done to demarcate that whole area as a high risk sailing zone. So that's number one thing we have done for our seafarers. Again, Philippine government, especially our union AMOSUP, took a very important role in our consultation with the employers, because until we designate this a high risk area, the seafarer can be really forced to work there. So that's one thing. And again, when you work in a high risk zone, you have special privileges and special it's I would say privileges, like special incentives you can get to work in the high risk zone. At the same time, we increase our communication with the seafarers. So we have a dedicated ITF has a dedicated Middle East coordinator who is working, I would say, 24/7. I should not use the word 24/7, because we all, like the people like us, like you as a communication person, me as a well-being person, we also sometimes need to take care of ourselves. So but we have a dedicated person for Middle East who is really working very hard, coordinating with the agencies, coordinating with the RTF, coordinating with the government in terms of repatriation, in terms of delivery and supplies. For example, think of a seafarer stranded in this Middle Eastern area, and he or she needs medicine, and he was supposed to get the medicine the next stop, but now he or she cannot get the medicine because the ship is not moving. So it's not, when we think about seafarers, we have to think of the small details, it's not about just passing the goods from one country to another. It's about the well-being of the seafarer and the health of the seafarer. So I am dealing with some of the cases where seafarers are stranded and they don't have any medications, which is a prescribed medication, which they are taking, which is recorded in the medical history, like for example blood pressure or whatever. So we are dealing with that. And again in that I must say that our union, global unions, our we are working very closely with the government. We are working very closely with the IMO, I must say, to make sure that seafarers' needs are fulfilled, and we can promote their well-being.
Okay. Next, Doc Asif, this is questions more personal, for seafarers' experiences. When they experience stress, anxiety, or feelings of isolation, what are the practical steps they can take on board to strengthen their emotional resilience?
I think nowadays one thing we are observing that nowadays seafarers are really isolating themselves within the ship. Like for example, what's happening is that nowadays after work they go back to their cabin,
Yes.
and because nowadays we have internet is there, and which is good for the seafarer to connect with the families. But the problem with the internet is that nowadays sometimes seafarers don't interact with each other.
Okay.
So I think the first thing for resilience, for the mental health and well-being, I think they need to connect with their colleagues on board ship. It's so important because internet gives us a virtual world, and this is not real world. The real world is that when I talk to you, and when I talk to my other colleagues, and when I can share my feelings. So I think the first thing I would say that for the seafarers, I always talked about it, is that we need to talk to each other. We need to share our feelings. We need to share our emotions. For example, I am sad because my wife is not well, or my mother is in hospital, or there's exam of my daughter is coming up. I am very stressed, and I keep my feeling within myself. But if I share my feeling with a fellow colleague on board ship, maybe he or she is going through the same scenario. So we can always support each other. And again, as a medical psychologist, I can tell you that when someone come to psychologist, we as a psychologist listen. If it's a 1 hour session, we listen for 55 minutes and we talk for 5 minutes. So it's all about sharing the feelings, and again, people go to psychologists to share their feelings because maybe they don't trust anyone, or maybe don't feel comfortable to talking to someone. Same thing. I think the most important thing the seafarers can do and should do is to connect with their colleagues on board ship, share their feelings. Again, they must talk to their family, connect with the families. Again, they have to understand that they cannot control the conflict. This is beyond their control.
Yes.
So in our life, we have things we can control, and in our life we have some of the things we cannot control. So better to leave the things which we cannot control, but we can control our connection with the family. We can control our connecting with our colleagues. We can control doing some exercise to keep ourselves fit. We can control listening to the music when we are not well, looking at the movies. So it's all about what we can control, what we cannot. At the same time, sometimes we need to say no. I think, again, coming from Bangladesh, coming to Philippines a lot, I think we are a bit similar. We usually don't say no. We say yes to everything. And sometimes it can be stressful. All these small measures on board ship can help us to mitigate our stress. It will not go away. As I say, it's a demanding job. Stress will be always there. It's all about try to make it as less as possible.
Dr. Asif, I really like what you said about, connect with your crew on board, share, open up, because it's different when you're talking to someone like this, face to face. Though understand it's also important to, connect to your family. How are you guys? Are you doing good or well? And also leave the things that you can control, because also I've worked before as an OFW in Dubai. So there are things that I cannot do while I'm away from my family, and there are things that I can just do on my end while I'm away from them. So it's very good advice. So I hope our listeners will take note of that. Let go of the things you cannot control, and share or stay connected with your crew on board. And though sometimes I believe if they don't trust someone, or you don't have to go into details, your problems, it can release some stress. You can just say that your wife is not well, or you're having some issues, and you don't have to delve into the specifics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, as a Filipino seafarer, you can also you can make friends with the Indian seafarer, because you think, oh my God, if I tell my Filipino seafarer, it can be a gossip. Okay, if you think that way, you have seafarer of other nationality, make friends, make a friend, make a buddy, I will say. And again, we have to understand that everyone in the same scenario, everyone missing their family, everyone having stress, everyone is going through the same challenges. So I feel that, as you mentioned, Lara, that it's not about talking about details, but about sharing the emotion,
Yes.
sharing the feeling, and try to create a support system. I
Yes,
would use
support
the word
system.
like creating a support system. I am for you, you are for me.
Yes.
So we are connected as a family on board ship. Something like that.
And Dubai is a cultural diverse city, I may say. So I've met a lot of different nationalities there. So it's interesting for me to learn about their culture. So from there also, I try to divert my attention to by listening to how they are, their different tradition and all these things.
Yeah.
So it helps me as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very good, Doc. I really like that. To connect, or just like simply talking to your colleagues on board.
Don't go to your cabin after work, just
Yes.
spend some time with your colleagues, because when you are after work, when you go back to your cabin, you are again isolating yourself. Already your job is isolated.
Yes.
You are far away from the family. It's a dark ocean. So it looks very romantic to be in an ocean, but it's not a romantic job. It's a very tough job. So you're already isolated job, but if you isolate yourself to your cabin, then you are really putting more stress on yourself. So yeah, just create a system of friends around you, support system around you.
Okay, thank you, Doc. So, with this, how does ITF raise awareness among seafarers about these support programs available to promote their mental and emotional well-being?
Again, seafarers are sailing, and again, there is, and nowadays, as I mentioned, reaching shore leave is an issue. They cannot come to the seafarer center, which they used to come before. So for us, we are using social media a lot. We are using social media a lot to convey the message, to promote our program. Again, encouraging them to connect with us to the ITF, because what I say that sometimes you need support which cannot be resolved at the on ship, so you want to reach out. So we always through our social media channels, we are always promoting telling our seafarer, reach out to us, and that's the one thing we are doing. And again, one new initiative, not that new, but one initiative we have started is to teach the young seafarer, the cadets or the trainee seafarer, because if we can build the capacity and the skill of our young seafarer before they go on board ship. For example, AMOSUP has a school map, which is one of the very best, and they already started teaching their young cadets about resilience, about mental health, how to address stress, mental health issue when they go on board ship. So from the ITF side, we are working with important seafaring supplying country like Philippines, India, Indonesia, Ukraine, Turkey, to incorporate a short module on mental health and stress management in the curriculum. And again, I am here in Philippines because ITF working with Marina, Philippine Maritime Authority, by which we're gonna train the faculty members. So it's not ITF or AMOSUP going to the school. It's not feasible and practical and sustainable. So we're gonna train the faculty members of different schools of different part of Indonesia, of Philippines. Sorry, almost 32 faculty members from 15 schools will be coming tomorrow for the next 3 days. So we're gonna train the faculty members on the basics issues of mental health, like what is stress, how the young seafarer can be prepared before they go on board ship, what they do when they are stressed, how to reach out to the services available. So this is the one new initiative that we are doing, because it's important that we make our future seafarer ready for this demanding job. Because sometimes the young seafarer thing is a very nice job. It's a nice job. You get good salary. You can see the world, but it's a demanding job and challenging job. So it's all about preparing them, making them ready for that job. And the work we are doing with Marina in Philippines is to prepare our future Filipino seafarers, to make them resilient and promote their mental health and well-being.
Thank you, Dr. Asif. That's a very good initiative, collaborating with the government and the faculty of which are the schools?
So it's like, we had one training last year, so 16 schools from different part of Philippines, the big
Yes.
schools, because there are some. We have to understand that in Philippines there are many maritime school,
Yes.
but there are some reputed good ones, like around 50 to 60 good ones all over Philippines. In Cebu, in Manila,
Yes.
Iloilo, Davao. We're gonna plan 3 trainings to cover almost 50 to 60 school as listed by Marina. So it's not AMOSUP or ITF, so it's coming through Marina, because they have the list and they know which schools are good and which school have the capacity to train their cadets. So tomorrow and the next 3 days, as far as I saw the list, there's 16 schools from different part of Philippines will be attending our training program, 3 days training program, and it's a job in collaboration with Marina and AMOSUP.
Yeah, thank you, Doc. What are your social media pages so we can?
It's called ITF Wellbeing.
Okay.
So yes, we have 50 almost. We already have 54,000 followers. So yeah, I will request all my Filipino seafarer friends who are listening to it,
Yes.
or or will be listening. It's called ITF Wellbeing. And yes, just connect with us, and again you can be updated as what we are doing and what you can do promote your well-being. At the same time, you can connect with me and us. For example, you are in Panama, or you are in Hong Kong, or you are in India, and you have a well-being issue. Through this, if you are following this Facebook page, you just message me that Asif, I am X from Philippines. I am second engineer, or I am a bosun, I am a ordinary like OS, whatever your position, and you have a well-being issue. Just one click, you can message me wherever you are. With our extensive network inspector in all major ports of the world,
Yes.
we'll be able to support you. So yeah, follow our IT Wellbeing page, and you can be connected and with us by one click.
Okay, Dr. Asif, lastly, what's your message like to share with our seafarers and their families to help them stay strong and hopeful during these challenging times?
Like time flows, time passes, bad days comes, but bad days will go.
Yes.
This crisis is here, and again we already seeing some positive changes, positive movements in the crisis. I believe in God, and again maybe we have different faith, and coming to Philippines, I know that Filipino seafarers, Filipino people are really believe in God, believe in destiny. I strongly believe that a good time will come, and again believe in that. Stay connected with your family and make a routine that every day you have a certain time of talking to the seafarers. At the same time, the families, you also connect with your seafarers. I have one request to the family, that don't. Sometime what happens is that something small things happen at the home, the news goes to the seafarer. For
Yes.
example, kids has 39-degree fever. It's not that serious. This is like, this can be a viral that can go away in 2 days. If you inform
Yeah.
the seafarer all the time what's happening at home, that can be a bit distressing for the seafarers. So it might be controversial, or like, but I still want to say that seafaring is a very tough job. Your family members who is all sailing now is doing a very difficult job at this moment, especially in the crisis time. Yeah, keep connected with them, but don't overwhelm them with small issues. Yeah,
Yes.
tell them if something serious happening, if some good news, show them the first, like have a video call saying the happy family, kids smiling, good result in the school. So yeah, so those sort of things in this crisis time will cheer up our mood, and I'm quite hopeful that God is there and God is always want the best for us, and things will change for good for all of us.
Thank you, Dr. Asif. Now let's just move on no, in terms of like you can contact the union. We have this AMOSUP contact center. We have the phone numbers you can call from Mondays to Fridays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have a telephone, landline, mobile, and smart mobile phones. And please like and subscribe our AMOSUP official Facebook page and AMOSUP official Facebook group to keep updated to our anything about the union announcement, important memo, and all these things. And you can please subscribe to our AMOSUP official YouTube channel. And for more details, please log on to www.amosup.org. Tulad nga po na pag-usapan natin ngayon, kasama si Dr. Asif, sa gitna po ng patuloy na tensyon sa Middle East, mayroon din tayong nakatalagang AMOSUP Help Desk para sa inyo. Maaari po kayo makapag-ugnayan sa helpdesk@amosup.org para sa anumang katanungan o tulong na inyong kailangan. Katuwang din po natin ang Department of Migrant Workers or DMW at ang International Transport Workers Federation or ITF upang tiyakin ang kaligtasan, kapakanan at karapatan ng bawat Pilipinong mandaragat. Para po sa agarang tulong at komunikasyon, narito po ang kanilang mga contact details. DMW Kumusta Kabayan, kumustakabayan@dmw.gov.ph. They also have Viber and WhatsApp numbers. It will be flashed on the screen as well. And ITF Seafarer Support at cfsupport@itf.org.uk. And of course, our very own ITF Manila Inspector, direct contact. You can contact him anytime, very reliable. Chief Engineer Arvin Peralta po. Peralta_Arvin at itf.org.uk. Andyan po ang kanyang contact number. You can call him anytime. Ayun po, muli maraming salamat po sa inyong pagsubaybay. Maraming salamat sa kasama natin sa Radyo Pilipinas, Susan Naison, Milo Jonela, J. Arevalo, Hiro Lucero, Erin Peñano at Jerome Toledo, Justin Osayas, at ating mga ka-AMOSUP na si Shane Lontok, and of course our very own again ITF Manila Inspector Chief Engineer Arvin Peralta. Maraming salamat po. And of course, Dr. Altaf, thank you so much for being here today. I'm very happy that you're here in Manila and present here. Thank you very much for sharing your expertise and for reminding us of the importance of caring not only for our physical safety of our seafarers but also for their mental and emotional well-being. To our listeners, we hope today's discussion has helped us better understand that staying strong at sea also means staying mentally and emotionally supported together with our families and communities. Once again, we'd like to thank Dr. Asif Altaf of the International Transport Workers Federation for joining us today. I'm very happy and it's my honor to be hosting you today. Stay safe, stay connected, and stay strong. Our seafarers move the world, carrying global trade and hope, so we continue to support them in every way we can. Thank you so much for ITF Wellbeing. Please subscribe also and follow their page for more information. Pagbati rin po muli sa lahat ng miyembro at dependents ng AMOSUP na siyang inspirasyon ng lahat ng mga programa at serbisyo ng ating union. Atin din pong subaybayan ang programang Alagang AMOSUP sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service at Radyo Pilipinas Radio Publiko, 738 kHz tuwing linggo alas 7 hanggang alas 7:30 ng gabi. Muli sa ngalan po ni Miss Camille Simbulan, ako po si Lara San Juan at ito po ang Alagang AMOSUP.
All aboard sa talakayan. Palalimin pa ang inyong kaalaman. Alagang AMOSUP dito sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service at Radyo Pilipinas Radio Publiko.